Hello and welcome to Now You Novi. It is February, oh my goodness, what is the date today? The 20th. I am with our esteemed and amazing City Clerk Cortney Hanson. Welcome, Courtney.
Thank you. Good morning.
I would ask you how your wonderful long President's Day weekend was. Mine was fabulous, in case you were wondering. But you didn't have one. You didn't get a long weekend.
No, we didn't.
Why
kicked
is
off.
that?
Yeah, we kicked off early voting Saturday morning. So this is the first election statewide that we have 9 days of early voting. So we were here.
Wait. Why do I think we had that last time?
We did in Novi and Oakland County.
Okay.
We piloted
Oh,
early voting for
okay.
last November. So this is the first statewide.
So statewide. Okay. So we served as a pilot
Yep.
last year. You know, I guess we're here to talk about elections and voting. You're right. As a resident of Novi, when we have local elections, but Michigan, state of Michigan, and federal elections, etc. I guess I would say, Courtney, this could be called the year of elections.
This is a year full of elections. It absolutely is.
So you guys worked to kick off, you had early voting that kicked off late last week, and then you guys were open yesterday to, make sure anybody that needed to get registered or whatever the good things, all the things, happened yesterday and that the city wasn't closed. But let's talk about February 27th, a week from today. It is the primary. What's it actually called?
It's called a presidential primary election.
Why do I remember, and I'm going to show my age, why did I think these were always in August?
So we will have a regular primary in August. This one is specifically for presidential candidates.
Okay.
And it's a closed primary, which is what confuses a lot of people. It only
Okay.
happens every 4 years in a presidential year. And you can kind of think of it as the political parties each holding their own election on the same day, which leads to there being two separate ballot styles where people have to pick which party ballot they want because they are physically separate ballots this time.
Okay. Which sounds like it's a lot more work for our city clerk's office. I'm hearing double, triple ballots, really. If you don't want either of the parties, there's an independent, a lot of different ballots, right?
So there's actually not. So
Okay.
Overall, you have a Republican style and a Democratic style. And then in one little corner of Novi, we have voters who are part of the South Lyon School District. They have a millage on their ballot, so they have a third option where they can get just a millage ballot without having to pick one of the party styles.
Okay. My head's hurting.
I know.
God bless you. So I guess let's talk about next Tuesday. Presidential primary.
Yes.
So most people in Novi, except for the South Lyon School District, are going they have the option to just choose one candidate for either party or independent.
So there's not an independent option. So independent is not a party in
Okay.
Michigan. A lot of people use the term because they do switch back and forth and they don't always vote for the same party every time.
Sure.
But it's not actually a party. It's
Okay.
just kind of
so
a choice.
it's only if you're picking a Democratic or a Republican. Got it.
Yep.
Okay. You can vote now. Let's talk about all the ways you can
All
vote.
the ways.
Before we talk about all the ways you can vote, can you still register to vote today on February 20th?
Yes, you have the ability to register to vote up until 8 p.m. on election day.
Okay.
That does not mean you can go to your precinct and register. It does have to be done at the city clerk's office.
Okay.
But yeah, you do have that
Is it
ability.
like that for all elections?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
Interesting.
Yep.
So you can register to vote up until 8 p.m. on election day.
Yes.
All the ways you can vote. Like if you don't vote, like you didn't want to, or we're living under a rock with all the numerous ways that you can vote.
Yep.
How can someone vote?
So this is the same for every election for us. You have the ability to obtain an absentee ballot, and you can do that almost a month and a half beforehand and have that done. So 40 days before an election is when we have ballots available for people. So you can do that. You can do it completely by mail. You can come into our office and fill out the application at our counter, get a ballot on the spot, vote it, and turn it back in. We also have 9 days of early voting that goes from the second Saturday prior to the election through the Sunday before the election. And then, of course, you have election day, 7 a.m. to 8 p.m.
Oh, my goodness. Okay. What's important for people to know about next Tuesday?
People need to be prepared to select a ballot style, which is a Republican Party ballot or a Democratic Party ballot. It does not mean that you're registering with one of those parties. So that's a common misconception, that if you pick one of those political parties that you're tied to them, and that's not true. So you can pick your style, and it's not tied to you permanently. You can vote whatever way you want to come August, November, any future election. It is only for Tuesday. You're picking that style ballot for just that Tuesday.
Okay. Are polling locations the same as a general election?
Yes. So the polling locations, we updated them at the end of 2022. So your polling location in 2023 is the same as it will be for this coming Tuesday, May, August, November elections.
Okay. So same polling location, unless you are registering and then
Unless you move
later and that you need to come here to the Civic Center. Any other things that people really need to keep in mind for this election?
It really is just about being prepared to pick a party style and just understanding that it's only for this election and has no impact in the future. It's really the only difference compared to any other one.
I guess I'm asking, and I keep asking that.
What am I missing?
A bunch of different. You're giving me the same answer, which is good. I'm not trying to trick you or anything, but I just feel like there's so much confusion out there about this February election, and I guess I'm wondering to myself, do people just forget every 4 years?
Yes.
And they're used to just the August, November, and they've just forgotten. Or is there something different?
So you nailed it. People forget. We do this every 4 years. We did it in 2020, 2016, 2012.
Okay.
So yes, people forget because you walk into August and November elections and things go back to normal per se.
Okay.
But then we get into the presidential primary at the beginning of a presidential year, and 100% people forget.
So the primary that people will see in August will not have a presidential candidate on it.
Correct.
Okay. It'll be for other elections, congressmen, senators, etc., that are up.
You got it.
For election. That will be the primary that they see then.
Yes.
It will not include a presidential candidate.
Correct.
They won't see that candidate again until November.
Yes.
Okay. I got it. Okay. Anything else you want to remind people? They need help?
Moving into the elections the rest of the year, we're always looking for people interested to work election day. It's a long day, so sometimes we have people try it out and feel like it's too much. But with the addition of early voting, I think we'll see election day turnout kind of spread across those 9 days of early voting, and hopefully election day smooth sailing.
So the early voting, I think this is always fascinates me too. Early voting, and I learned this by going through being one of the pilots with you last year, just so people that are going, how does this early voting work? I think it's fascinating that it needed to be a designated space here at the Civic Center. It needs to be secure.
Yes.
And no counting occurs, right?
So for early voting, we have a tabulator, and it's just like election day. You come in, you fill out an application to vote. The workers look up your record, they mark that you're voting, they print a ballot for you on the spot. You mark that ballot, and it does go through the tabulator. Tabulator is constantly keeping track of that information, and daily, the polls aren't closed like they are on election night. They get suspended, so no results are divulged until after 8 p.m. on election night.
Right. So that was the thing I was like,
Yeah.
nobody's like at the end of the day going, woohoo, there's, and so it
Yeah.
gets suspended. They're held in a queue, if you would.
Yes.
And then nothing from that tabulation from the early voting precinct gets hit until 8 o'clock on election night.
Correct.
Well, when everybody else is tailing as well.
Yep.
So, I know you were a pilot program last year, and I think it worked well. We didn't have a ton.
No, I believe for November we had 531 voters come through over the course of 9 days.
And was that just for Novi, or were we a early voting location for others too?
So we partnered with Oakland County.
Okay.
It saves money all around if you think about it that way. So we have a cost sharing agreement with Oakland County. Our site here at the Civic Center serves all City of Novi voters, Novi Township, and City of Northville voters.
Okay. Still right now?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay. So City of Northville, if they want to early vote, they have to come here to Novi.
Correct.
Okay. It makes sense.
Yeah.
So there you have it. If you have an inkling you're not going to be in town next week, or just, you're listening to this podcast and go, hey, I'm going to vote. You can vote between now and next Tuesday. We here on Saturdays and Sundays too?
The clerk's office will be open on Saturday from 8 to 4.
8 to 4. Perfect. Okay. And that's for early voting.
Early voting will go through Sunday.
Okay.
They operate from 8:30 to 4:30.
Okay.
With the exception of Thursday, they do noon to 8 p.m. But then our office separately will be open for people to come register, turn in absentee ballots. You can still get an absentee ballot if you don't want to go to early voting. So we will be here for that from 8 to 4 on
Gotcha.
Saturday. Yeah.
And all of this information, Courtney, is available in one handy dandy spot at cityofnovi.org/
Elections.
Super easy. Love to steer people there because all of the information right now and leading up till 8 o'clock on election night is all there.
Mm-hmm.
If you're looking for information, it's just a great resource where your polling location is, how to apply for an absentee ballot when early voting is. All of the information is in one easy location.
Mm-hmm.
And they can also always call your office.
Yes.
So, but we encourage you, cityofnovi.org/ elections.
Yeah.
Anything you want to leave people with?
No, just get out and vote.
Get out and vote. And always say thank you to your city clerks because we have the best in Novi. We really do. You make it seem effortless and everything runs just super seamless, and you and your team do a great job. So we're very, very fortunate for that here in Novi. Thank you. And there you have it. No excuses not to vote, Novi. We'll leave you with that, and we'll say, now you Novi. Take care.